Welcome to 5 Minutes of Faith. I'm your host, Pamela Denise. Let's get into it. 5 Minutes of Faith is a new segment. So thank you for joining me here. Everything I do for a reason because on these social media platforms, you can be anything you want to be. But my reason for doing 5 Minutes of Faith is because I believe that the world needs more faith. Why? Because without faith, it is impossible to please God. And I love God and I want to please Him. And I realize that a lot of people, and I can say this for sure, don't really know what faith looks like. How do I know? Because I've been a Christian since 93, May 23rd, 1993 to be exact. And once I gave my life to the Lord, then I was taught that we're supposed to have a relationship with God, not be in religion, but have a relationship with God. So we were in church a lot. I was in church all day Sundays, like from Sunday school all through the day. Wednesdays, Bible study, Friday night service. It was lit. And I really believed that I loved God, but the truth is I didn't know God. My relationship was with God was based on my church service attendance because when I got home, I didn't really open my Bible. I didn't really read it. And so God is his word. Imagine being married and the only time you spend time with your spouse is when you're around a whole bunch of people and y'all got back home and y'all don't spend time with each other. What type of relationship is that really? And that's what my relationship with God looked like. When I was at church, I was like worshiper, like I was created to worship. So even back then, like I would hear the music and I'd be like, ah, like all into it, right? And I meant it. I wasn't faking, but I didn't really know God. So I'm doing this because I believe the world needs more faith. Again, the Bible says, "He who believes faith, sorry, without faith, it is impossible to please God because he that comes to God must believe that He is, and He is the reward of those who diligently seek Him." Imagine if you all have jobs. Imagine having a job. You have faith in your employer. You have faith that if you go to work and do the work that you're supposed to do, they're going to pay you. People don't believe that that's faith, but it is. You think that you just know, but sometimes companies that went over, people went to work and they didn't get no paycheck because the company closed down. So you have faith in something. Faith is knowing what you believe is true, so much so that you act like it is going to happen. So here's my first example of faith because again, I got saved in 93 and it wasn't until like 2016 that I had my first real encounter with faith. My son and I, we were struggling. Young dude, he was about 19 at the time. We were having some challenges, and I was like out of the country. I was in Australia the first time we had challenges, and the very next month, I was in another state and we were having challenges. And I came back home, and I created this space on this meditation space, and I was doing it because I was seeking God, like I was trying to create space for God. And I remember talking to my son. I remember talking to God, saying, "If you take him, like I'll give him to you. If you take him, then I'll do whatever it is you want me to do." And I had said that a lot of times before, but this time I really meant it. But I said, if you take him, I'll have plenty of time because I won't be chasing behind him because I'm chasing behind him. So again, it's my first encounter with faith. And within a couple months, I remember the first time, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, my son wasn't home. I looked out the window, I didn't see his car. And what I would normally do is call him, text him, check his location, stuff like that. But this time, I believe because I was afraid for his life, and I'm not a fearful person. I was afraid for his life, and I said, I want to believe that God is going to do what he said he would do, that he would take him and take care of him because I gave him to him. So this time, I noticed he wasn't home, and I said, God, you got him? And I got quiet. I said, do you have him? Because if you have him, I'm going to go back to sleep. And I literally went back to sleep. This happened for a few months. It increased my faith. God showed me that he had my son. So this is what faith looks like. Faith is acting like what you believe is true so much so that you do something in turn. So that's my 5 minutes of faith. I'm your host, Pamela Denise. Join me because we're going to do this. because faith is important, because without it, it is impossible to please God. Until next time, peace.